Then I took a smidge and applied it down there.
This one's wife. I'm not sitting there. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. As you know, Prince Harry and this one's wife went to Jamaica. They attended a film premiere, and there has been much to analyse from that, both in terms of their meeting of the Prime Minister of Jamaica, the fact that apparently the child who was unwell has now recovered, allowing them to go to Jamaica, the suggestion that actually no child was unwell at all, and this one's wife was already in Jamaica making happy with some silver-haired folks. But also, it provides us with another opportunity to show that she's not as important as she thinks she is, and how that does not sit well with her. Mariah Chiarando from Mail Online reports, awkward moment Prince Harry and this one's wife appear to hesitate as they're shown to their seats several rows back at glitzy One Love Bob Marley screening in Jamaica. As you know, the narcissism of this one's wife causes her to believe that she is the centre of the universe, that she is the most intelligent, the most fun, the most beautiful, the most entertaining, the most interesting, the most talented individual that graces the cosmos. She sees herself at the centre of everything, meaning that people should show her deference and respect, that they should kowtow, that they should bend their knee and kiss the hand, scrape the elbow, etc., in order to demonstrate that they recognise her brilliance. This means she comes first, ahead of Harry, ahead of the late Queen Elizabeth, as we saw on certain instances, that she sees herself as the person that should be front and centre. We've seen before how she has barged in front of Harry, relegating him to an outsider, glum-faced and playing very much second fiddle, perhaps even third. We've seen a number of instances where she shoves in front of people, that she steers Harry away to ensure she gets in first. We saw as well the sickening behaviour of where she marched in front of some veterans in a case of stolen valour. Her narcissism propels her to do this because, one, she believes that she's important enough to be there, sense of entitlement. Two, she has no accountability for her behaviours, not recognising that she ought to hang back, that she ought to show respect to other people. And three, because she needs to do it in order to get the control that her narcissism craves and to ensure that she receives the fuel that is her lifeblood. Thus, it causes her time and time again, with sharpened elbows, to barge her way in and demand that she is given the best seats in the house, the best billing, the best standing. We saw it, for instance, at the Kevin Costner event, where she sought to take the microphone. Again, that's her sense of entitlement, a subconscious understanding that the microphone is mine, I'm going to talk to you all. Of course, she was foiled on that occasion, but another example of the way that she believes that she should always be afforded special treatment. Accordingly, when she and Harry turned up to the Bob Marley screening, they found that their seats weren't at the front. They weren't on an elevated platform with this one's wife, Duchess of Sussex, written underneath in gold glitter that had been carefully crafted by 5-year-old children that very day. There wasn't a great big fanfare when she entered, but rather she was shown along the corridor towards a row of seats. Without fanfare, without fireworks, without doves being released, and, shock, horror, those seats were several rows back. The Mail Online reports a clip showing the Duke and Duchess of Sussex taking their seats at the premiere of the Bob Marley One Love biopic has surfaced. The couple attended the glitzy event at the Carib Theatre, during which they chatted with anti-monarchist Jamaican Prime Minister Andrew Holness. The video shows the former royals being shown to their seats which are dun 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 several rows back. The clip appears to show Harry, 39, looking slightly downcast as he makes his way to his seat, following, as always, his wife. Meanwhile, this one's wife, 42, is seen smiling as she holds up her large gown and makes her way down the cinema aisles. The Duchess wore a black gown for the event, with a strappy black top that showed off her arms and shoulders, paired with a taffeta Carolina Herrera maxi skirt. It then goes on to tell us about some of the other things she wore and how much they were, and also in respect of what Harry wore. It also talked about how their appearance caused some controversy, owing to this one's wife and Harry posing with Prime Minister Andrew Holness and his wife Juliet at the premiere, because Andrew Holness said his country is moving on from the British monarchy. Harry's father, King Charles, is head of state of Jamaica. The hesitation that was shown is evidently this one's wife thinking, "I'm sorry, there must be some kind of mistake. I don't sit here, I sit at the front." Now, there would be some narcissists that would say, no, this isn't acceptable, and would demand to be seated elsewhere. Those type of narcissists often don't operate a facade. Here, the hesitation was as a consequence of the fact that the narcissism balked at her sitting there, but then the facade management kicked in and said, you can't kick off, it'll cause you to lose control of these various tertiary sources, therefore you're going to have to swallow this one, smile, go and sit down, behave yourself. The initial reaction of this one's wife, because of her sense of entitlement and grandiosity, is, I'm not sitting there, hence the hesitation. The fury would start to rise, because the seating of her several rows back does not accord with her own view of her own importance, and would amount to a threat to control. Ordinarily, that ignited fury would cause her to turn around and bark an instruction at somebody, to make a demand, to point out that this is unacceptable. But before it got to that point, the facade management kicked in and basically, like a Scouser, said, calm down, compelling the ignited fury to stay under control. Remember, as a mid-range narcissist, she has a reasonable level of control over that ignited fury. Far from the best, but certainly not the worst. And here, the facade held. It caused her to smile and caused her to go and accept the seat without kicking up a brouhaha. But the tell was the hesitation. That demonstrated that she was not content with what she was being offered, and indeed, thereafter, I suspect what she then did was take out that disapproval on Harry with regard to the seating. Her facade management stopped her turning around and being unpleasant to whichever minion had been directed to show them to the seats, but she then unleashes some of that ignited fury on Harry instead, prompting him to clear off and go and see if he can go and get an ice cream to soothe his soul instead. Thus, this one's wife's facade works, so she doesn't kick off when shown the seats, but doesn't maintain itself when dealing with Harry direct, leading to an animated argument / discussion, presumably about the seating arrangements and how she blames him. It probably isn't Harry's fault at all, but then again, as you, being on the receiving end of a narcissist behaviour, will know that you got repeatedly blamed for things that were neither anything to do with you, under your control, or anything that you could do about. But the point is, it's never the narcissist's fault. It's always somebody else's or something else's fault. Here, we see again this one's wife's narcissism in action. I'm H.G. Tudor.